ask several reconsiderations and a motion to adjourn, exercising my right in the minority and as a House member to proceed on business that I felt was only fair and equitable as far as treatment of a member when a member has a problem in his district. I have the great honor and privilege of representing urban area, suburban area, and then also a rural area from basically north of Orlando to just south of Jacksonville. The western part of central and center part of the northern part of the state is agriculture and rural. It's a great area. People work hard. They're some of the most dedicated, hardworking Americans I know. Unfortunately, several months ago, we had a disastrous series of rains. We had up to 30 inches of rain in some of the areas. Some of those areas, I have pictures of potato fields, and we're my district's one of the largest potato growth and farm areas in the nation. These fields behind me here were all covered with water and covered for multiple days with sun and rain. What happened was basically the potatoes rotted, and we had $50 million worth of damage, which really isn't a huge amount of money when we deal with billions here, but it means the difference between life and death, between staying in business, between keeping people employed in my district. I'd ask the Rules Committee for a small change in a program that's called Supplemental Review Assistance Program, and those are federal programs that that farmers in my district paid premiums for, participated in, and were eligible for. In fact, 85% of the potato farmers were eligible for participation in those programs. But the problem that we had, in spite of their having this insurance, is the timing of the disaster was such, and the rules by which they assess eligibility. Disaster payments under SURE would arrive after the crop losses, because some of the data has to be computed for payment rates a year after the harvest. Now, that doesn't help people who are trying to do plantings, and we have different seasons than other parts of the United States. It doesn't help people who are trying to keep folks employed in the farm business, and it doesn't help farmers who are trying to keep their door open. I asked for a small change, and if you look at the rule, they actually put in some changes, and they were, I hate to say it, legislating on appropriations to help folks. And we normally do that, helping each other in the House of Representatives when our areas have a disaster. Now, I wasn't asking for any more money. I wasn't asking for another bigger program. There's plenty of money there. It's the timing of the disaster and this particular requirement to get funds and make my farmers eligible, and farmers through this devastated area eligible. So I'm very disappointed. I must say that Mr. Kingston, I have the highest respect for him. Ms. Delora, I have greatest respect for her. They do a wonderful job. My argument is not with you. My argument, again, is with the Rules Committee that did not extend the courtesy to a member to assist his district in a time of natural disaster. I intend to pursue this no matter what it takes. However, I have to get the attention of the House. We are going to find a way to bring aid to people in my district who just want to keep in business, who want to continue farming, who want to create jobs in a very difficult economy and not be shut down. They've paid their dues, they've paid their fees. We're not asking for any more money. We're just asking for a slight change in some of the language on the funds that are available, and there are plenty of funds available.
Well, time has expired.
Yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Georgia reserves. Gentlelady from Connecticut.
Mr. Chairman, I just would say to my colleague that I sympathize with the difficulties and the disaster that's befalling your district, and I would urge you to speak to the authorizing committee and the Mr. Peterson and the agriculture committee for this effort. With that, let me just yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney, for the purposes of a colloquy.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I thank the chairwoman for